I live to serve you, Lord Megatron.
Where is the cube?
The humans have taken it.
That's Starscream, or at least a version of him that we met back in 2007. However, just 2 years later, when Revenge of the Fallen released, he sounded like a completely different Decepticon.
Only to help spawn our new army. The Fallen decrees it. After all, in your absence, someone had to take command.
The difference is jarring. In the first film, Starscream has this deep mechanical voice, but in the sequel, he was high-pitched, whiny, and carried a very specific brand of cowardly personality that felt much more in line with the Starscream that fans grew up with. And this wasn't just some one-off tweak. This new voice became the definitive one for the character, carrying over into Dark of the Moon, and even becoming the centerpiece of the action for fans visiting Transformers The Ride 3D at Universal Studios. But that consistency in the sequels only makes the 2007 performance stand out even more. For the casual moviegoer who wasn't tracking casting news, that shift in 2009 felt like a textbook case of a recast. After all, the 2007 voice was so heavily processed that it could have been almost anyone behind the mic. Then to hear that same character suddenly sounding like a screeching high-pitched sycophant made it feel like a different actor stepped into the booth and gave us a more traditional take on the character. But the truth is, there was no replacement. The man behind the microphone in 2007 was the exact same man in the sequels, the legendary Charlie Adler. To call Adler a titan of the industry is an understatement. He has been a staple of our childhoods for over 4 decades, with a career spanning everything from Red Guy to Buster Bunny. But for Transformers fans, Adler is one of the OGs, because he did some voice work for the original G1 Transformers cartoon back in the 80s, playing characters like Silverbolt and Trigger Happy. But despite being a veteran of the franchise, his journey into the Bayverse was surprisingly grounded. I actually reached out to Charlie Adler to get the story of how he landed the role of the Decepticon second-in-command, and it turns out it started just like any other job in Hollywood. According to Adler, he didn't have a special in with Michael Bay. He simply went in for an audition with casting director Ruth Lambert, did what he thought worked for the character, and to his own surprise, he got the part. Naturally, I had to ask him about the sudden change in his voice between the first 2 films, and his answer points to a decision made long after he left the recording booth.
I don't think my voice changed, what I did changed. I have a feeling that it was done in post-production, meaning that they took the tracks that I did and may have made some decisions about the timbre or the tone or the maybe the depth of it. I'm not quite sure. The first one was absolutely what I did. I don't think there was any sweetening of the track. And it's my guess, because people have pointed out that it has changed. I wasn't aware of changing it. So I think it might have been done in post-production.
Now Adler's right to point towards post-production. Just listening to his voice in the 2007 film, it's clear that his performance was buried under a heavy modulator, which begs the question, what was his performance like before the sound engineers touched it? Well, usually that raw audio stays locked in a vault forever, but luckily for us, we actually have it. You see, hidden in an obscure BD Live Extra for the 2008 Blu-ray release of Transformers 2007, we get a glimpse into the booth during the original recording sessions. And as it turns out, the sequel voice, just like Adler stated, wasn't a new direction at all. It was the performance he was delivering from day one.
I live to serve you, Lord Megatron.
I live to serve you, Lord Megatron.
Where?
I live to serve you, Lord Megatron. Lord Megatron, I was so relieved to hear of your resurrection.
And there it is, the sequel voice was always there. As for why they chose to modulate Adler's performance so heavily in the first film, that's still a mystery. It seems like it was just a standard creative decision at the time, since every single Transformer in 2007 had their voice processed to some degree. It wasn't until the sequels that the filmmakers decided to dial back the effects, and just let the voice actors do what they do best to bring these characters to life.